meeting to order at 9:02 a.m. Let's open up the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let's see. There are the budget adjustments.
There's somebody overpaid there on that refund at $1,900.
Feel? I don't know. How do you tell if you look at it? I don't even know.
Look under, is there a, she put an attachment, look see if there's an attachment. I don't think she does now. Oh, no.
First half increase refund. Oh, was that a, because of Board of Revisions?
Could
You can open it up, I can.
could be.
Oh. Feel, but I didn't think there was a feel in there. Not that I can recall. Oh well.
Is the property owner?
Yeah, probably, I would have guessed.
Okay, would there be a motion to approve budget adjustments?
I will make that motion.
I would second.
Okay, is there further discussion? Hearing none, Christie?
Jeff Myers?
Yes.
Al Hudson?
Yes.
Glenn Miller?
Yes, this resolution is approved.
Hey, what is that? Yes.
Just click on the X and close it.
Okay.
You clicked on attachments multiple times.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's thinking you wanted to download multiple
Okay.
files. I've got some cookies in it.
They're very good. Did Paul make them?
Yeah.
The box did.
You didn't buy them, did you? Those are made, aren't they?
The box over
Oh, those are good.
Were they all the butterscotch? Xbox one? On square?
No, these are, there's the monster cookies, chocolate chip, and sugar.
Those ones are never,
They're over here.
did you bring any in here?
What the
Somebody
heck?
brought, Joe Box. Butterscotch.
Those are good.
What, 50 pounds or something like that?
What the hell?
Joe Box.
Yeah.
I did this once already.
Something good like that.
There's cookies that they make there. I store back.
Well, I was gonna put, when I brought it in the freezer for another day, well, I would probably eat them another day, so I just brought them here.
Why is it doing that? When I go to here, and I go down to that there, and I click on it,
Go up to the top. It says blocked.
yeah, this,
Oh, it went away. I don't know, what is that?
this site attempted to download multiple files automatically.
Always allow. It's saying that,
Probably when the power went out,
Oh,
Well,
maybe.
they did updates
Huh?
too. I don't know if the updates, how did they do that?
Ryan was off yesterday, so that meant he worked Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was gonna come in Sunday and do some things, and I got busy at home. It's probably better you didn't, the power was out. That's my favorite.
Okay.
No reason here. But the lights came on, they made it brighter in here than the actual light, exit lights.
All right. Phew, we're gonna get out of there. And here's the then and now. Landfill's busy. Look at that.
Yeah, but probably could do all of them in one
Yeah,
thing, but
we've talked about that.
the auditor's office.
And for some reason it doesn't work, so. Or it does every time.
Well, you know, it would take you 3 minutes versus I bet it takes her 45 minutes. Put all the state would let you just add it up.
Yeah,
That's how we always did it.
I didn't know we had tire shredder repair. Fuse. Capacitor, no, it was in the motors.
Yeah, on our, last week, Mike did say it had been down.
Yeah, that's right, he did say they were down, that's right.
Would there be a motion to approve then and now?
I will make that motion.
A second.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none. Christie?
Jeff Myers,
Yes.
Bob Hoskin,
Yes.
Bud Miller.
Yes, this resolution is approved.
I approved some bills yesterday morning. Number of them. There's still some there.
Got, resolution C.
Rob,
Yeah, this is the resolution. I asked to go back and have the paperwork redone,
Oh,
to get the right address and,
it was the addresses.
yeah.
It's a good thing that you saw that, because I didn't look at that.
yeah, they had known about it, I guess.
Oh, they did?
The state did it.
Yep, we're at 1853 Oakwood Avenue in Napoleon now, instead of whatever, something South Fulton, Monsignor.
That helps. It gets us in the general vicinity at least.
Northwest Ohio.
Yeah, Northwest, someplace out there.
That makes a difference. Okay, so the title resolution reads in a matter of community development. Block grant CDBG program grant agreement for Love's Travel Stop and Country Store Street improvements. Would there be a motion?
I will make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, for discussion, Dennis Miller from Maumee Valley Planning Organization presented to the Board of Henry County Commissioners for their approval fiscal year program year. Yeah, DY program. 2020 Economic Development Program, TUBG grant agreement documents in the amount of $500,000 for Love's Travel Stop and Country Store Street improvements.
Where does that come out of then?
CDBG.
CDBG.
About
Oh.
500,000 towards the road improvement.
Okay.
So I don't know if it, I wouldn't think they get, I would think they'd get about 400, net 490.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
actually, I think less than that.
Oh, is it?
I think it says in there something. I don't know why I want to say that Ron Valley gets, well, maybe they get 10,000. I'm thinking they got more.
Because they had on, with CDBG or revolving loan, that is $10,000.
Okay, then that's what it is.
Yeah, yes, it is, you, for administrative, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
yep,
what
yep.
I need. I think the city puts on
The $500,000 isn't going to do all that.
No.
the, not even close.
Okay. Yeah, it shows, in the number breakdown where, CDBG administrative cost is $10,000. Okay, if there's no further discussion.
Jeff Myers?
Yes.
Al Hufford?
Yes.
Well, no.
Yes, this resolution is approved.
3/4 contract, 4?
Autopsies.
All 4 of them? Well, it looks like it,
Yeah.
$1,400.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's the new price.
Yeah. What I'm saying is we had 4 in a row that quick.
Yeah, normally you don't have that.
Yeah, we don't have that many.
Maybe they're waiting to send them all in at once.
Yeah, could be.
My guess would be, depends on when we get invoiced, and I would think
Yeah.
the coroner's office of Lucas County would get their invoices out, and then when they get turned in here.
I thought you were gonna say it depends on when the shipment comes in.
Well, yeah, that would depend on, at least they're not COD.
It'll say that, oh.
Okay, all those bills.
Do they even do COD anymore?
Oh, yeah,
Do they?
yeah, there's an extra fee for it.
Yeah. Well, the way the post office is right now, you'd be lucky if you get it, period.
Yeah, I had some mail order medication, and it came 2 weeks later than what it usually does.
You know, we talked about that yesterday. So your mail carrier out in the country runs out of his hours, you're the next drop, and you got medicine in there that you need that day, he just takes it back. Yeah, and it's Saturday, and he takes it back and says, I'll bring it to you Monday. Son of a gun.
We had a,
And this is what we want to depend upon for our voting?
my cousin sent Eva a card in the mail, and she goes, do you have a different address? I go, no. She took a picture, it's right address, everything, they returned it. I'm like, zip code's right, stamps on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have one last resolution, and that's resolution D.
Oh, that's a good one. That's
As
a
long
lovely one.
as long as they have some weight to them, they move across the table pretty well. Okay, this is, good morning, Kevin. This is, the agreement contract with Kirkland Paving for, the 2020 resurfacing program round 2. And,
How you doing this morning?
So we're gonna use this agreement as the resolution.
That's fine, that's the resolution. Is this the agreement on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got it, and I'll just have you guys sign it like, but it would be,
Okay, so this will be the resolution. Because it does,
well, yeah, that's why I thought it. I could have Tim send me the word and I could actually put resolution at the top too if you want.
you know, why don't you go ahead and do that? But this is the resolution will read, about the agreement between Board of County County Commissioners and Gherkin Paving for the resurfacing program round 2 of issue 2 money, and for the amount of $581,117.50. The estimated price by the engineer was $650,000, and according to this contract, completion date shall be October 15th, 2020.
Did we vote to accept that bid already?
Yeah, we did that.
We did that the other day?
Last
Thursday?
on Thursday.
On Thursday, we did?
Yeah.
Was that there?
Well, there was somebody sitting in that chair that really looked like you.
You started reading it, I thought, I don't remember doing that.
What?
Tim came in and,
Yeah,
for the bid opening.
yeah,
That was on Tuesday.
Yeah,
yeah.
and so the Gherkin.
Okay, all right.
John Hilbert from Gherkin's was here on Tuesday.
Right, yeah, okay.
All right, would there be a motion?
I will make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Christie?
Chuck Myers?
Yes.
Bob Hossa?
Yes.
Glenn Miller?
Yes, this resolution is approved. There's just one place for
I think it's the front, I didn't see anything else.
no, there must not be, since there's no little sticky things that say here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And there's just like a few places for Glenn to sign. Incoming.
Okay, this one. The green one, the green one here.
And just do it on the other side.
I didn't put it there. Wasn't me. I think Ronnie Valley does that. Just that you can't find yourself.
They're pretty well rounded. They're just being cautious
There.
and helpful.
I didn't have time to talk to Glenn yet on the,
Yvonne?
return thing.
Good shot.
Workers' comp, Bob, workers' comp.
Yeah. What?
Wait, no.
It's a broken rib right now.
Oh.
There's no workers' comp, come on.
Not if you're in shape like I am.
No, Nick now brought me a invoice for some laptops. So I did a purchase order. I haven't paid it yet, because I ran out of time yesterday. But Kevin thought we should pay it out of IT. And so I'm assuming it's something to do with reimbursement.
It's FEMA funded assistance, it's,
So we're gonna get reimbursed from them.
yes.
Okay.
So if we pay it out of like the equipment fund for the IT, or if we pay it out of the unanticipated, when we get reimbursed, we have an IT reimbursement revenue line item. Should we put that back into there? And if we do,
Well,
then
if we're gonna pay it out, of the IT, yeah, we need to.
okay.
Well,
I mean,
he said
because
pay it out of
I guess it just
Nick,
was there.
Nick, so that you told me to pay it out of unanticipated, I go.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
But it would make more sense to pay it out of IT, and just reimburse IT.
Okay.
Okay, so we should pay it out of the IT line item,
Yeah.
equipment line item, and then reimburse that.
So I'll just cancel that purchase order.
That makes sense, and that way we could, because those two track, and that IT equipment, we may have to do a budget increase because it keeps climbing, but that's okay because that should equal or be mostly equal out at the end of the year
Right.
with that,
Yeah.
and we could see that easier.
Right, and I don't know if we're current on our billing to other departments.
I don't know, I'm not
I don't-
taking care of that.
Yeah, I know.
She usually turns, I mean, she gets the invoices from everybody in time. It's pretty close, I would think. Now, the ones that we buy under us, though, would not be reimbursed. You know what I mean, from,
Well, the IT is basically under the commissioner, so if you buy your own computers, you're not gonna pay yourself
Right.
back to do
so
it.
it's not gonna be exactly the same.
But, yeah, so we've spent more out of that equipment line item than we have been reimbursed, but that would make sense because in general, you're gonna buy some things that it's for the county good that the general fund would pay. Whereas, like, and this happened in my office, I think all of those in my office that Christopher paid for comes out of that general fund, but my REA fund repays that back because those are used for the real estate.
Okay.
But we just buy it through one point.
Right, and, so there should be, an invoice that came out of our office to Kevin, and, which I'm pretty sure there was.
Yeah, I paid, I remember I paid,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because that was pre-COVID.
Pretty good.
It was.
That was a long time ago then.
And it's also by 1 cent per purchasing point. It's going to be easier to keep track of
Yes.
what have we bought.
Oh, yeah,
And
definitely.
as long as we note on the PO or it's noted on the invoice, that it's for
Yeah.
auditors.
I don't know.
That plus it should be on our inventory list too.
Yeah,
And that's done by departments, but, I mean, the departments need to keep track of that, because
Mhm.
we put our little inventory stickers
Right.
on those, because they got a value pretty high. And-
Yeah.
And so that way we have, you could look at my inventory sheet and see that we have 7 computers for 6 ladies and myself.
and it also allows us to get a good picture of what have we spent on IT countywide. And that's what we have been trying to get to, and so we know what our true cost is.
We'll void it out, we'll work with you on that.
Yeah, I'll just cancel it. She may have a purchase order over there. But he told me he brought it, so.
No problem, we can fix it.
What are these computers for anymore?
It is part of off our list,
Stuff that's gonna, okay.
on the board.
And the war.
I'm not sure who, this is through, the public assistance money was a 25% match,
Right.
and, we could use the CARES money for that, our CARES money. Then the state of Ohio said, no, they are going to match it. Which is, and then with this public assistance money, you can go back, you can keep going back. So we thought, we already have a list of items that we want.
Yeah.
Let's get moving on it. And, those, I don't know if, what the distribution, I don't think that's been completely decided.
Okay.
Is that through EOC? Is that like an emergency?
Yeah, through FEMA.
Yeah, that's true. FEMA.
Yeah. So we've spent a lot of time
Decide which goes
trying to
on.
figure out how to really leverage our money. And so with us initially having to match, FEMA, okay, let's wait, that's the last resort. Then said we could use the CARES. Okay, really don't want to spend our CARES money, but if we can leverage a little more doing that. And then when State of Ohio said that they will do the FEMA match, okay, so we're looking at those notebooks, and then we're looking at Zoom equipment for family court for here and town employees.
Nice. So that's sort of the idea for the remaining, I think it's like $70,000 we have remaining in that CARES money?
Some of that, 20-some thousand of that went to thermal scan units, and
Have we signed those off yet?
I don't know. Tracy was yesterday afternoon when I was in, he was talking about it. I don't think
But I think the money, what you're talking about, is not that 70,000, correct? The FEMA money is something totally different.
FEMA money is something totally different, but the thermal scan unit is part of that, the CARES money.
Sure.
And I've been talking to our legislators about the additional, that $850 million sets out there. If Congress doesn't do something, even if Congress does something, to be able to get that acted on and distributed, we're looking at maybe receiving the money in October. If they don't, if Congress is bullheaded and doesn't want to do anything until after the election, you have to figure that, okay, the drop dead date's still December.
Yeah, that's the tough part about with that money that's out there is,
Yeah.
I mean, we're in August.
Yeah.
But we know how that works, the time's ticking away.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation with Cheryl Sutler at CCAO last week, and she gave me some of the staffers' email addresses for the speaker in Columbus. And I sent the first email yesterday asking to be able to have a conversation. So I'm planning on sending a fairly detailed letter to the speaker. Met with Hoop Social on Saturday.
Yeah.
I mentioned again.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, compared to his other counties, we're way ahead.
Yeah, sure.
And I said, yeah, we are. But we also know what the timetable is and how are we going to meet that. Is our next round would be out of the $850 million, there'd be over, I think it's around $2.2 million would come to overall Henry County, including the townships. Unless they change that, if you didn't take any money in round one, they're not sending any.
That wouldn't surprise me if they did. That would
No,
make sense.
and I think I agree. And, you know, they did something that was easy with the redistribution. They'd probably do a better job with that, but, and that's something.
That money, that $850 million is still sitting in Columbus, so did the federal government say that's yours to keep, or is there a take back, can they take that back? depending on the election, I'm talking about it, you know. Either way, could that go back to the federal government?
I'm under the understanding that it goes back to the federal government. I don't know the details, but what I understand is the reason that the state's not releasing the money is because that money has a lot of restrictions on it.
Okay.
And that the hope was is that the federal would release some of those restrictions to spend. Now, what the restrictions, I don't know, if that's what I was.
Pretty well what we have right now, but I've told Jim and I've told CCO, I said, we can live within that. We're not asking for revenue replacement, which a number of counties are. But if you can alleviate your COVID expense, you know, it depends on how you want to skin it. You look at it one way, well, they're paying expense. Second thing is
then you're not using general fund money to pay for the expense.
Not using general fund money, so. There are still a lot of counties that are fighting of who's doing what. That's even in Northwest Ohio, there's disputes between the county health department or multiple health departments in any county, and the commissioners, and which isn't unusual. You hear the stories all the time, and probably just about go through and historically there's been problems, but we have worked. I think we've worked very hard trying to maintain the ability. We need to work together. And we have.
Question have you guys sent business checks out?
They're all distributed.
They're all distributed, okay. All right, I was just saying, if you need help, I don't know how you just mailed some of them or.
Apparently you did, I think it came down to one. The street truck, the individual, he called 3 or 4 times or emailed and didn't get a response, so he stuck it in the mail, and then the next day, they got called.
But because those checks went out, I had a small businessman tell me this weekend, he said, I screwed up because I didn't realize that I lost money because of this. And I said, well, when round 2 comes along, I'll let you know. You know, if round 2 comes along, I'll let you know. You know, and he goes, he said, it's probably my fault. He says, I didn't pay enough attention to it, but he goes, shit, there's guys in the same kind of business I'm in that got money, and I didn't get any. And he goes, my business was affected. I said, can you prove that? And he goes, I can show you what I was doing before, and I can show you what I did during the COVID. And he goes, yeah. So there might be other businesses that are like, I'm just saying there might be other guys that said, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know that, you know, this is going to, as vocal as we were about advertising, there's still some people.
I thought you had a very good response, so people did hear about it. And
and the best advertising is going to be word of mouth of those that have received it.
That have received it, And
when they
I think that's where this guy got it,
and it was public. The distribution.
Well, he admitted it. He goes, I didn't pay attention to that because I didn't think that it affected me. And he goes, oh shit, like that. So it's.
Well, one other thing, and if you want, I can make an appointment on Thursday. We could discuss this. We are getting to the point where we need to send out the budget sheets. And so usually in that letter and the sheets, we give that percentage. And we could afford it to leave it as is, and instruction will come later. One thought that I had is that we do it a little unique here for the general fund. The general fund is really the commissioner's budget.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could just send out non-general fund budget sheets and say, you know, I have my REA, I have to budget for that. There's the delinquent tax fund. There's the computer fund for various departments, and they control all those. And just we, through time, develop the general fund. And we could say that in the letter, that the commissioners will be working on that, and you'll talk, then when you come to the hearing, the discussion will come about the amount in there, and then they need to come prepared, they meaning the departments need to come prepared for what they would like, if we would like to go that road. But
Instead of us doing them here like we have been in the past, is that what you're talking
well, normally, we've been giving, like, I'll say my department,
about? Mm-hmm.
the auditor's general fund portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be quite honest, I mean, I got my sheet here, I could go through the last several years, and it's the same, with
Yes.
a little bit of increase in salary.
Yeah.
Don't even send those out. Now, the hard one's gonna be is the sheriff's office, because that's a larger one and
Mhm.
multiple entities in place there. And then the next biggest department would be, in general fund, would be the courts.
Yeah.
So those there. But everyone else would be sort of just in general, and then we always talk to Brent, because what, by statute that he's allowed to have and what we end up with is different
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that. But
Right.
it's just a thought, but, we have time, but I'd like to, we're hitting the middle of August, and last year we sent them out, like, I'll say the 20th or something like that, but we need to get these sent out sooner rather than later with that. And that's where say we could word it, that you should, for payroll for a certain percentage, or just at this time hold, and that'll be discussed at a later date. And the reason that I bring this up is because revenue is gonna be tricky for next year in that,
Mhm.
where do we stand at? And I say that is that casinos are now just opening back up because we were down 92% from the last quarter.
Yeah.
That's a huge number, but it's
Yeah.
also, we understand why.
Yeah.
But our sales tax has rebounded very well. And we just done settlements, so I can tell you the settlement numbers and see where we compare to last year too. So we would have a better picture of the revenues next month and where we stand at on a consistent basis. I mentioned casinos, well, then the next article that I read about casinos is that they're breaking records.
Yeah, I heard that on the radio the other day.
For online stuff.
Well, they judge the casinos, the 4 casinos which we get money off, and the racinos and stuff, and they're saying that things are up, which then in turn, then our revenues should rebound back,
Yeah.
but we need to wait and see.
I think with, as far as for the employees, and I hate to do this, but I think we hold.
Oh, I think so.
We hold where we're at, and I'm thinking we better calculated about 10% on health insurance.
Well,
We haven't heard anything on that yet.
so if we hold to be discussed at a later date, I mean, we have until the end of the year to see where we're at,
Mhm.
but I think that's a starting point.
Mhm.
I'll just, my opinion on this is that, through all this, we've not laid anybody off.
Right.
We're pretty solid on that. And I'm not saying that to justify if we hold salary, but we have to protect ourselves,
Yep.
and we've not reduced hours. I mean, there's counties that they don't open on Fridays, and they don't know when they're gonna reopen back up, which affects those employees.
Yes, it does.
Or permanently reduce some staff, and we've not done any of that stuff, so.
And nobody missed a paycheck. And sometimes they weren't even here, but they didn't miss their paycheck.
Very true.
Yeah. I think our employees have to kind of take that in consideration when push comes to shove. I thought we were more than fair to our employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We're and are.
Yeah.
And in an informal survey, you start looking at, thinking about it in March. So I asked, I was over at the Board of Elections, I asked Mary and Katie, given the choice of a raise or a hold on your health insurance contribution, what would you rather have? Because typically, you get a raise and then there's an increase in your contribution to your health insurance. Well, they both said we would rather have health insurance.
No, but that's an individual preference.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I brought that up to my employees, those that have family coverage, they would certainly like that hold. Those that are single coverage, that pays
$20.
$20 a month.
$20 a month,
Yeah.
which there's a reason why we do that.
Yeah,
The
I
thing
think you
is,
should raise it a little bit.
then they lose on that. I mean, that's, so it's a preference on that.
yeah.
With that.
Well, it depends, if
Yeah.
it's a 5% raise on your insurance and you're getting a 3% raise, it's a no, you know.
Yeah, right,
I mean, 5% at $20 is
It's nothing.
yeah.
a buck.
But man, $20, yeah, maybe in the shade. That's great.
That is rather affordable, yes. But there, again, there's a reason why we do
I
that.
know. But not too many places.
I know.
$20, nobody I know.
And I strongly think after I'm out here, you ought to raise it, but not right now.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
$20.
Let this be on the record, I'm just kidding about that. I don't, we have to raise that, I agree, it is very cheap.
It's a tough decision whichever way you see
Yeah, it is.
There's reasons why that is down, and you can agree or disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that question though is dependent on this certain situation, and, you know, those that don't take the insurance, they get paid.
Yeah,
I don't know what they would say, it's like, well, that, you can raise the insurance all you want,
yeah, I don't get mine here, yeah.
you know, just make sure I get my $1,200 at the end of the year, but I'd rather have a raise,
Yeah.
type of thing. But it'd be either way, some people are gonna be happy, some people are gonna be not so
Yeah.
happy.
Well-
And
That's the name of the game, because,
what's the time frame for that health insurance?
Won't be until probably the first part of October,
First part of October?
and that's usually when we find out.
they haven't sent us anything yet that I have seen.
It's still a little early to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because you're only 8 months into a year.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let me do up that letter and I'll send it to you guys and
Okay.
I'll say like the hold for now. And then that way we can get the things out. And then we can always add a percentage later with that. And I can,
Once we see-
I'll word it once we see where our
Where our
revenues
revenue-
are a
yeah.
little more steady.
Yeah.
Because that is
I agree
truly
with that.
an unknown.
Yeah, I agree with
And then-
that.
And an increase in other costs. We'll see.
Mhm.
We'll do it that way.
mhm.
For the
Yeah, that'll work fine.
casinos for online, we don't get any of that, do we?
No.
We only get revenue from the four, Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Toledo.
But the other day, that was on the radio that the one in Toledo had the best month that it had ever had since it existed.
And nobody pushed this, and I know it's not a high priority, but I've talked to both McCully and Hopes about this. Why isn't Ohio pushing to get sports gambling in place? Well, you know, everybody wants their slice of the pie.
Yeah.
And I'm talking from our perspective.
Yeah,
You've got 4 casinos in the state that's already set up and can do that.
yeah,
And you also have a method of distributing that revenue.
yeah.
Well, that's the problem is that if you're not part of that revenue stream,
You don't care.
you want it to go to the racinos
Yeah.
because the racinos have a different revenue stream, or it should go to this entity or that entity. But to rebound in an economy,
Yeah,
we would boost,
yeah.
we would have records again,
Wait, that all depends on if sports goes back to.
as long as we have football.
As we have football, yeah. This has all gotta happen first, you know.
But to me, again, I work for the county, I'm gonna look at the county's perspective.
Yeah.
You have the ability in place, and I would bet for the casino, that's probably not the right term, that you would have 4 casinos that could get that up and running within a month, a sports book.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, they already own other casinos that have that in place.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that might just be almost a push of the button, really, when you think about it. They've got it run in other places, like you say, so what would you tell
It
them?
wouldn't be too hard to take a few slot machines out and create a bar with a big board like this,
Mhm.
you know, Vegas,
Yeah.
with all the odds and people running tickets. Great. All right, you guys have anything for me?
No, but that was a good idea though on the budget, I think that's a route we should kind of,
Hold for now.
yeah.
See what the private, a lot of it depends on what the private sector.
Private sector. Well, and that's something that, you know, I questioned last year. I said, do we keep doing these raises? Because some of these people are making pretty decent money. And Tom's comment, when I asked Tom, and Tom's comment back to me was, well, he said, if you don't stay competitive, you're not gonna get good employees. So, and that is true. That is. But I don't know that you know, private's gonna do a lot this year. Who knows what's gonna happen?
And I haven't heard anything.
Or anything, yeah.
I've heard a lot about several places giving like bonuses and stuff.
Of course,
Yeah, because,
like,
yearly increase adds to your overhead. A bonus is a one-time expense.
Yeah.
You're not obligated to, unless your contract
calls for it, yeah.
obligated.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that every year.
Well, you take like Campbell's, are they still paying that $2 an hour right now?
Yeah, they stopped.
They stopped it, but they're giving a bonus, they just said they were giving a bonus, forget how much this time, it was 600 or something.
To their permanent employees.
I don't know if it's going to their,
Because my son worked here for 2 months, you know, the PAC or whatever they call it, and the first month he got the $2, and the next month they didn't.
Oh,
and they just got that, I think, beginning about it.
It was in July, because he worked there in July.
You didn't get it in July?
When they came back from shutdown a year. But, yeah, there could be a difference between
I think my brother.
permanent full-time and non-permanent
Right,
full-time.
right.
With the,
I could ask my neighbor who works there. I could ask him.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Don't want that on the record, but just to let you guys know. You talked about revenue.
Okay. I'll pass it around.
That'll be released next week.
Okay.
But, and that was surprising to me.
Yes. Yes. That's very good. That's good. Maybe that's a trend.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
We just had auto inventory.
Yeah.
Where to sell,
It's
the dealers could sell some vehicles.
It's getting better. I've noticed in Hamlin, the inventory is looking better right now.
Yeah, it will.
It's been for a while.
But is it good or bad? Are they selling or just not getting stuff in, you know what I mean?
Well, their inventory there is a lot on, they bring in a lot of used equipment over there, used stuff. And there for a while, there was nothing in, I mean, both lots were empty and now,
I'm worried because I think we might be off, I'm like.
yeah.
Not that much.
Yeah.
92%.
Like you said, though, it's
I
having
know,
best
instead of
best
a whole
one
week,
ever,
it was like nothing.
Yeah.
best month ever, I think it was or something.
What, the casino?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had their best month ever, and since it started. And they were talking about the one here in Toledo.
Yeah.
Could be much social distancing there, son.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering, how do they,
See,
they clean them down every time, or?
I don't know. How could you? I mean, I suppose if I go in there and wear rubber gloves, I suppose. You could play, because you could
As long as
play
you don't touch, you know.
slot machines. You can play slot machines, you just wear.
I would think there'd be a lot of germs there.
There's germs there anyhow, yeah. People that go in there.
Watered down alcohol too.
That's what drink beer. drink some coffee, get cheated. Did you guys get one of these? For the land bank thing? That's on the 23rd and 24th. It says we have to register if we want to do it. Do you think we want to do it? Is it worth it to do it or not?
Typically,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead, since you haven't been, I went to the first one after we,
Yeah.
that September, let's see, Katie went, Emma went, Gwen,
Yeah. Great.
there were, they had, well, they could get, CLUs or whatever they call them for lawyers.
You're right, the continuing.
There were a number of things there
Yeah.
that made sense.
Yeah.
For them, but it seemed to be geared, that year was geared for the large ones.
Yeah,
And when you're
yeah.
doing, when you're sitting down, to go over properties, board of revision or something, you know, they've got 1,500 that they're dealing with.
Right. Well, and that's why these were invented in the first place, wasn't it? Because of them, when the housing collapsed.
And, so it's, you know, I don't know, I didn't look and see what the agenda items are. It talks how, first one was COVID-19, what that means for land banks, how land banks can engage in land conservation.
You should do that, Bob.
We aren't really in that. Small county land bank success stories, I thought that sounded interesting, just to see how they did it. Maybe I'll sign up for it, depending on how busy we get with tomatoes.
Jerry Thompson bought a house there in Sheffield, and it needs to be bulldozed in, it's bad. It's almost on 424, and it's a great one, and you should just, the roof looks like it's about ready to fall off, but she just like packed up and just left, this lady does. And I forgot how much, I heard he bought it for like $10,000, I don't know how much it was, but it was more than what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, that one on Scott Street was that bad.
What we got for $100. It's different, this one,
Has he sold that yet?
he put up the realtor.
Oh, did he put the realtor now?
I think he sold it, they didn't show up or something.
Yeah, because I thought one time I drove by there, it said sold.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
posted something.
And then he went with a realtor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did he
okay.
just the second time? He saw it the second
No,
time?
no, no, it's listed with a realtor sign.
Okay.
Now, this one is, they carried everything, they had dumpster after dumpster.
Mm.
Now, I mean, they had a big hole in the roof, was the roof bad on that one too?
Oh, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
And it's been that way at least 10 years.
Yeah, it's been sitting there for quite a while already.
Empty for that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was quite a while.
It was quite a while, yeah.
Council,
Yeah.
we were dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't have money to tear it down, wanted to
Yeah.
tear it down then.
It looks nice, huh?
Yeah, it looks nice. And it's nice on the inside. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a little house, but it's nice. Look at that.
Hey, Chrissy, how's she at?
I didn't think anything.
For Thursday, with that hearing for Bill Myers on the annexation, we'll go over the procedure.
Yeah, I talked to Michael this week, and I don't know if everything, he was gonna look and see. I called Nancy, and everything on that end is good.
This is our annexation manual setting. This is a revised agreements.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of going through this today. He's going to come, Vicky, that's all Michael, the attorney, Vicky. That's Bill's attorney.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see what you got. That's that land bank thing.
Like the special, nobody tested them.
September.
So what's the test?
So you and me are on for September, are you gonna go to that?
It should have in there, what is it?
There's a lot of different ones.
Commissioners annexation annual, CCO.org.
That's what we're trying to send it out.
Course, September 4th.
Go by.
Okay.
That's that course meeting that we're gonna do here.
Gotcha.
Do you have one in a little binder?
Yeah, but
At 10 a.m. It's on Friday at 10 a.m. here.
Okay.
It'll probably take an hour or so. And I think you said you don't have to go to it. I'm on that board, but if you want to learn more about the course, you can show up there. I think Cameron's gonna be here.
Okay. Nope, if you think it's a good one, and I'll learn something, then I'll.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
But I don't know if we did the last time, we shouldn't have. We have to use MLS. Because I would imagine that was adopted by resolution. So we're, for sure. Now, it may be pretty close. With CCAO and station manual, very possible.
Michael sent something on to it, because there's a flow chart and everything, which I think is what we have. We'll buy it back there. See, I can't tell you about the front, but.
Some of our government money at work. Flying over.
Oh, I heard yesterday, they were really flying yesterday.
They weren't in a big hurry, but when one of the jets got over the point, he was up probably 20,000 feet. Because it took me a while to find him. It was just a little tiny speck.
Yeah.
Cloud, that real high level layer of clouds.
Yeah. And they were, the ones that, well, maybe he was going across the point. I was outside at the greenhouse. I could hear him. Holy crap, he was smoking. 2 or 3 of them went over kind of slow, and then that last one, like he was behind or something. He was playing catch up.
Yes, there's a military airway.
Yeah. From here to Dayton.
South of here, and that's where they fly. Okay, anything else for Steve? All right, Jeff?
Well, it's nice to see the progress. If you drove by the river bridge yesterday, I believe they put up 4 of the beams yesterday.
Yeah, they did, yeah. Yeah, I talked to the contractor last night, and, yes.
They were lined up there on Industrial Drive.
He said they
What
drove,
their turn?
they pulled into Industrial Drive, and then they put them down in there, he said.
Back all the way down?
Back down in there, yeah.
How big are
They're big. It's 90 feet long, I think he said.
Yeah, they had a separate, one of those trailers that.
Trailers that turned, yeah.
Corner,
Yeah. Yeah, I missed that. He was sitting in the garage last night, we talked about it, yeah, it was pretty cool. Now they'll put them in place and put the deck on, and then they gotta pour all that. And then he thought they would pour the concrete about the end of September till they get the deck. It'll take that long to get the deck on, and then when they get after they pour the deck, then they gotta pour the sidewalk yet. And then, of course, put all the stuff on there, like the water pipes, because I think the city's gonna put a water pipe on there yet, yeah. Put all that on there, so,
they? So then they take the beams down?
No, they stay there. The beams stay there. But then when they get all that work done, they'll pull the rock out. And he thought they would still get the rock in on the other side, yeah.
Their limitation would be if the river freezes. But
Yeah,
again,
that don't matter.
if it's not frozen very, very thick, they'll be able to bust through that pretty easily.
Yeah.
So how do they get the rock from there over to the other side? Do they have to load it up?
They'll use an excavator to dig it out and load dump trucks.
Little dump truck and drag it
They'll haul around, yeah.
They take them out and wash them. And then put 'em-
Huh?
That's what somebody told me. He didn't say that last night, but I think he told me that once before. Or somebody told me they have to wash them before they put them back
Did
in.
Tim say
That makes a lot of sense.
I think so.
Yep. But at least you can reuse it,
Yeah.
for,
I think down here they didn't even let them reuse it, did
If
they?
you
no,
reuse the rock,
Harris Street, you couldn't reuse the rock. I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they're gonna start the roundabout on the south side.
Mm-hmm.
He thought next week or something.
Well, it's gonna be done yet this fall.
Yeah, it'll get done.
So I told Paula it will be ready for it. Yeah,
Yeah, well, she won't be the only one, because my neighbor said, oh, I hate roundabouts, and I said, then don't use that bridge, because you're gonna be one on each end. Oh, my God, I'll go right there.
Don't come in 110 or 424.
I've never seen them on the end of bridges, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
It'll be neat.
Go to Bowling Green and go out on Worcester,
Yeah.
go across 75. There's one on each side of the overpass.
Really? It's been a while since I've been.
Yeah, I haven't been there for a long, but I think the last time I drove there, they were there, yeah.
Yeah, it was, the last I've been there was late summer, early fall last year.
Yeah. I used to go there a lot.
They had just opened it.
Yeah.
Because I was still following, because I wanted to go on, go west on Worcester,
Mm-hmm.
following some of the construction crew that was picking up cones
Yeah.
and stuff.
It's good practice.
But those are multi-lane, in a fairly busy area.
Yep.
The one in Perrysburg, that goes opposite. I always, because it says you can turn right on the arrow, just stop and turn, no, it's right, you can't just, every time I'm sitting there.
My first experience with one of those crossover things was Sawmill Road and 270
Mm-hmm.
in Dublin.
Okay.
That's huge. You think the one at Perrysburg's intimidating? This is about double this, or more than double the size of that. It's just, okay, where do I go?
Yeah.
It's kind of, I can't imagine a older person, going on that.
But it's so nice the way it's set up. It allows for easier movement of traffic. Okay, anything else, Jeff?
Also saw, Andrew was either Saturday or Sunday working on setting up the courthouse. So I was surprised to see that over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Trailer there, is that like a tool shed or a workstation?
No, that's gonna be, they're gonna walk through, we're gonna.
Oh, it's a walk through.
Walk through, that's to protect.
To protect them from, okay.
Yep.
I thought that
Oh, I thought it was, it wasn't like before then.
No, there's one on the west side of the courthouse and there's one on the east side of the courthouse.
Oh, yeah? I didn't see them there yet, I should have known that way.
Containers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Oh,
Because the one when I went by yesterday afternoon, there on the west side,
Yeah.
on the south side of the container has a big hole cut out.
Okay.
okay.
So and then the one on the east side still has the doors in the end,
Okay.
but they have a ramp
A ramp.
that's going to go up to it.
Cool.
But Ellen will still be able to get in around
Okay.
at ground level.
Okay.
And, last week on Friday morning, yeah, I was talking to Eric and Ellen. She always comes in about
Mhm.
7:30. And so I hadn't talked to her for a while, so we stood there and talked for a while. So she was, and then with Eric there, I said, if it becomes where it's difficult for Ellen to get in, the break room entrance is going to become the temporary employee entrance.
Okay.
We can, if we need to, we can come to spot one of the spots out on the west side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Since she comes in early.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I guess I missed, I was downtown yesterday, I was at the radio station.
And then if you look up, he also has some of the scaffolding started there on the south side of the.
Oh, does
See
he?
that up there?
Yeah, yeah,
Right below the windows,
yeah, yeah, the window out.
yeah.
You had a window out?
Huh? And on the lower part of the tower, there's windows around.
Oh.
He had one of them up, so, or maybe two. I thought he
I
had
saw the
one,
one in maybe the southeast corner there was out,
and there was one on the north side.
oh, okay.
That'll be interesting.
And when I came in this morning, turned to go, north on Perry from West Washington.
Oh.
One of them was standing out there with their harness
Ah.
already, all harnessed up, ready to go.
Mhm.
You know, next thing you know, see him up there, swinging back and forth.
It'll be interesting to see, because I talked to somebody the other day, and they said, when is that coming down? And I told them roughly, and said, I'm not real sure, but it'll be this fall. And that person looked at me and says, I've never seen that. And I said, well, wasn't it down in the 90s? And they didn't think so. It was down. I don't remember that at all.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But apparently.
Apparently it was down.
When was she put up there?
That's original to that courthouse.
So that was what, early 19?
1880.
Oh, 1880.
80, yeah.
1880, 81.
The original feet are inside the courthouse in the display case.
Really?
See, they almost had to have her down to get them off of her at that time.
Why did they put her feet back down?
They're so
They were crumbled up pretty bad.
decayed and.
That's kind of sad.
She just
Her feet are giving.
She's just floating right there.
Yeah.
What did you made it originally?
I don't know if we have that information or not.
What's that? The what?
Who made her originally?
Oh, I don't know.
You know, if it's somebody local or like her
Yeah.
shipped in?
I would think there would be some of that information somewhere. It might be in Kevin's office, I don't, so that one journal that I had was from 1885 or 86. It was,
That's the one from South office?
no, that's the one I had on my desk for quite a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
And then Kevin was out here one day and wanted to know if I wanted to take it back. I said, yeah.
Yeah, I got them two little slips in there, you gotta take it back.
Probably would have one.
Well, I think this one was multiple years.
85.
I'm thinking it was 85. I don't know for sure. But yeah, he's got, that whole thing he has where he's at in that area. There's the big slide up doors and there's those big journals that are in there. And this one, pretty sure it was another decayed. And the ends of the paper, pages are discolored because of being handled in oil. I thought some of this stuff, if we could find the information on certain things, like the commissioners, is take the things to Columbus and have their Ohio History Connection. They have scanners that can scan something even larger than what those books are opened up to have that.
Yeah, some of that stuff would be interesting.
Yeah, it's just it would be just taking the time, going through it, and you kind of have to have an idea, okay, from this courthouse, our current courthouse is that the third one in the county that was burned down. So along with that, the records were burned down. Anything else, Jeff?
No, sir.
No.
The area thing?
Area. Not that I can think of anyhow.
CCAO came out yesterday, I don't know, did you get the emails, or maybe it was just for the board about contacting our legislators, federal and state, about CARES and whatever this next one, this heat or.
Yeah, about,
Whatever, about that.
get them in gear, basically.
Yeah, so it's really, first I was really disappointed in Congress, of leaving and not having this taken care of.
Yeah.
So, you know, the House, I can see where the House was in control, so it's been trying to make, Republican,
It's all political.
candidates look as bad as they can, but now the Senate went home, and it makes, even though none of them are up, I'm not aware are up for a reelection, it really makes them look bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all political.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see the latest one out on Facebook? I'll tell you about it as we get off there.
I was on it a little while yesterday, but not very little over the weekend. Yeah. So I still don't have another drafted to the speaker, but I'm trying to get it more concise, get it down. How do I tell the story quickly and not make it, you know, a four-page document, to tell the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I emailed his chief of staff, Christine Morrison, yesterday, and asked her either to contact me by email or call and ask.
But didn't that thing that CCAO sent out was we should encourage them to extend the time that we can spend that money? I thought it said something in there about that, to extend that out so that, you know, if we do get it in November after the election, that we have time to like the end of 22 or something at least the end of 21 to spend that.
Yeah, it was proposed to the feds to extend it to where it would be 90 days after the close of the current fiscal year, which for us would be, because we're in fiscal year 21.
Right.
It would be September. Yeah, because it starts July 1, so August, July, August, September, at the end of September would be.
Okay. Yeah.
Because with this, you look at us, you know, like the state of Ohio, they quit 2 to 3 weeks in June before the new fiscal year.
Yeah.
They don't do anything. Finance is trying to close the books and get things cleaned up.
Yeah.
And we quit
2 weeks.
no later than the last 2 weeks of December. Henry County's not doing anything either.
Yeah.
So that means we have to have, based on the way the law is now, have to have our money spent, or what we're going to spend by no later than the second week of December. Well, especially when you have more than double what you were going to get still sitting in Columbus.
Yeah.
Once we get paid out, then.
Yeah, and it's not clear whether it can just be encumbered or whether it has to actually
Be spent.
If you throw in a PO or something, it would be okay, but
Yeah.
it takes several weeks a lot of times to get an invoice.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna take several weeks because if we open this up for like businesses again or whatever, it's gonna take a while to come up with those ideas, you know, and people.
Yeah.
But I think word of mouth, just from what that guy told me, he said, I guess I just didn't realize that till I saw so-and-so and so-and-so got it, and I said, and he goes, oh crap, I should have done that.
in conversation with our state rep on Saturday, I mentioned that probably round two, depending on how the funding is, probably will also include some 501c exits. X being a placeholder for whether it's a C3, 4, 6, so.
Well, like even our Legion, we had to shut things, you know, we lost money on our fish fries.
Yeah. This is not revenue replacement. It can't be used as revenue replacement.
But it had to be, yeah.
We will reimburse for expenses, can make a mortgage loan payment, those type of things, but it's not revenue replacement. So if they spent money for hand sanitizer,
Yeah, right.
those kind of things, yes. Like Beth Kirkman over at
Yeah. Child family.
Child and Family Advocacy. They did a number of things, clothes, masks, the whole shot. And even more remote, that would also qualify. But my estimate is that the commissioners would have about $1.1 million based on the current funding model of the $850 million. So that leaves another $1.1 million for the rest of the counties as in the townships. But if townships didn't use the money this round, the villages didn't use the money this round, I don't think they should be included in the next round.
Yeah.
Is that the money still comes,
Yeah.
but it is distributed amongst those that have used it.
Yeah.
And I think even now, the redistribution needs to go back to, the county gets 50% of whatever needs to be redistributed and broke down across, the entities that use the money.
Yeah, they used it, yeah.
But the thing, where we're at now is these things will, it's gonna take time to be able to have something designed and made so we can social distance and keep Christie away from us.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little while.
Yeah.
At least if somebody has time, a couple weeks to build.
Yeah.
And set in place. Like our Zoom stuff we're just waiting on IT.
Yeah.
Because that stuff, it's funded through public assistance.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it right now.
Yeah.
The next round of notebook computers or laptops would be second round CARES money.
Yeah.
And, we know what we're going to buy. It's just a matter of, once we have the money, we can go ahead and get them ordered.
You're talking about the small computers, that would have been really nice, I could have done a lot of stuff. But it does not.
Yeah. And it would be, we're basically a 24-inch monitor. So it should have have a camera and speakers and a microphone.
But it would be the computer with everything on it.
Mm-hmm. Like mine in my office. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
I don't think yours has the camera.
But it don't have a no, it don't have a
that was
camera.
one of the early ones that we bought.
Yeah, mine don't have a camera, that's what I have to do. Hey, do you have that Corsa meeting, did you get us registered for the Corsa meeting on September the 4th?
Well, I have it down for Bob and Jeff, so I can double check.
To see if we got registered, and we'll set it up in here, we'll sit in here, because I think Cameron's coming over too. And I'm not sure if that's a webinar or if that's a Zoom meeting. I thought it was gonna be a Zoom meeting.
I think, I believe the CCAO uses GoToMeeting, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's already downloaded.
Yeah, yeah. Because like I say, I can't, it doesn't do me any good to do it in my office, because it,
Okay, if there's nothing else for the good of the cause, will there be a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
second,
Gary Christie.
Jeff Myers.
Yes.
Bob Hessler.
yes.
Glenn Miller.
Yes.